plant-based protein, that Beyond meat, is going to go into the pan. Just squeeze it out. This all comes from rice and green peas and mung beans and different plants that grow. So it goes into the pan. And I'm going to use my spoon now to break it up so that it can all get heated evenly. In this meat substitute, this plant-based protein, I'm going to be cooking for 8 minutes. So I know that when that clock says 30 minutes, that we have been recording live from my kitchen in New Bedford, Massachusetts, this special Learning Live edition of Office Hours. At 30 minutes, 1/2 hour, I'll be ready to move on to the next step. While we're ready to go here, I'm going to get that spoon off of there, take my salt. Salt goes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. I think that's a piece of plastic that was at the top of the salt. Don't want to leave that in there. Take my pepper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not bad. Wash the hands again. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. Let me know how you're doing out there. This is, what is this, week 4 of school closure? This is the 3rd week, 4th week? I can't even keep track anymore. It's been such a long time since we've been in school. So, that's still cooking. Tell you what, while we are waiting for the plant-based protein to cook, while we're waiting for this clock to get to 30 minutes, maybe I should start breaking up the eggs for this frittata. I'm going to reach under here. I'm going to take a big bowl, and I'm going to take a really big bowl because I need to break a lot of eggs to make 6 servings of frittata. 2 eggs per serving, 6 servings, 2 times 6 equals 12, aka also known as 1 full dozen. So I'm going to put a dozen eggs into this bowl. I'm going to crack 12 eggs, 1 dozen. Here they go. Ready? Count them with me. 1. That's 1 egg. 2. 2 eggs. We are 1/6 of the way there. 3 eggs, also known as 1/4 of all the eggs that we need. 4 eggs. We're 1/3 of the way there. Whoops. And I just got some eggshells in there. I'm going to scoop them out like that. Never said I was a good cook, but I just try my best. Here comes 5 eggs into the bowl. And next comes 6 eggs, 1/2 dozen. Just break those. There we go. 7 eggs. We are now more than halfway there. Okay. 7 eggs. 8 eggs. Look at that, 2/3 of the way done. 9 eggs. We're 3/4 of the way done. 3/4 of the way to 1 dozen. 1 dozen is 12 eggs. Here's number 10. And then 11 and 12, let's do them together. Ready? 11 and 12. That is 1 dozen eggs in this bowl. 1 dozen, 12 eggs makes 1 serving, or 6 servings of 1 frittata. And I'm going to wash my hands after breaking all those eggs because I don't want to get germs from the eggs into my hands, into my fingers, onto my countertops. I just want to keep everything nice and clean. I wash my hands with hot water, soap, keep everything clean. How are we doing with the time? We have plenty of time, 3.5 more minutes to cook this plant-based protein and these peppers. I'm going to give it a little stir here to make sure nothing sticks to the pan. And I can already see the steam rising off. And it's starting to get a little browner, right? There's a little good sizzle going on here. Pan's nice and hot. Everything's mixing together. I'm going to break up the plant-based protein a little bit more, mix it in more thoroughly with the peppers. Get everything mixed together, get the flavors commingling, right? Sizzle it all together. Smells really good. This is going to be a good frittata. It's going to be a good dinner, good lunch, good dinner. Okay, that's all mixed together. And now while that's still cooking, how are we doing here? We got the thyme. I'm going to add the seasoning and the white parts of the green onion. So here's my seasoning. Okay, we're getting ready to put that into the pan in about 2.5 minutes. I'm going to take a fork that I'm going to use to mix up these eggs. So look, I've got a dozen yolks and then the whites. I'm just going to stir it around here. And it's going to break up the yolks and mix it in with the egg whites. And you can see the proteins from the egg. So it gives it that thick texture, thick, gooey texture. Right now it's a liquid, but when I cook it, it's going to turn into a solid. Right, for the frittata. Okay. So there we go, mixing the eggs up. Looks like there's something in here that I don't want in there, so I'm going to stir it out. There we go. Mix that all together. So far, so good. It's getting to be about time for me to mix the seasoning into the plant-based protein and the peppers. So what I'll do is I will put everything right into the center of the pan and then dump the seasoning on top and then stir this all around to make sure the seasoning gets in there. Very nice. Also, I want to get those green onions, just the ends, right? The white, stiffer parts of the green onions. I'm going to pour that into the pan as well. There you go. Those in there. And unfortunately, you can't see from that camera into this pan, but it looks beautiful. It's a lot of different colors, greens and whites and oranges and browns, all mixed together. Lots of reds and yellows and oranges. I can see the colors. I can smell the fragrances and the aromas. They're all sizzling together, mixing up. And I'm going to cook this now for another, 2 minutes. So maybe when we get up to 32 minutes, I'll know that it's time to move on to our next step. I'm still trying to break up some of the protein a little bit, make sure that it really gets cooked through. Gets a nice little char on the outside, maybe. Yep, that smells pretty good. It's cooking pretty well. Everything's mixing together. The flavors are mixing pretty well. And the pan has enough oil that nothing's sticking too much. Maybe I should add just a little more salt and pepper. I'll wait until I put in the eggs. So those eggs are still mixed together. And got this just about done. Okay. Our next step is going to be to take the green parts of the green onions. I almost dropped a knife on my feet. That would have been very dangerous. Green parts of the green onions. I'm going to put those in with the olives. Okay. Put the cutting board in the sink. Put it in the dishwasher. So there goes the cutting board. This knife that almost cut my toes off. I'm going to put that in the sink. I'm going to wash my hands again. Can't wash your hands enough. It's very important to wash one's hands. Right now, during this coronavirus time. We don't want anybody getting sick. We want everybody staying safe. Okay. And we are just about at 32 minutes that we've been recording this very special live on location episode of Office Hours. It's the Monday kitchen episode. So we got the onions, green onions, and the olives. They go into the pan. Okay. We're also going to put a little more salt and pepper in there. Just a couple twists of salt, a couple twists of pepper. And I think we'll cook this just a little bit, just to let the heat get through it, get everything mixed together. Okay. Everything is sizzling together pretty well. And now, for our next trick, we are going to add the tomatoes. Those will go in there as well. Okay. And mix in the tomatoes. This is making sure that nothing sticks to the pan, right? So it's sizzling, everything's nice and hot and heated through. And now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, I'm going to take my dozen eggs, this big stainless steel bowl with 12 eggs all mixed together. Here they are, right? I'm going to take those 12 eggs, and I'm going to just pour them right over everything that's already in the pan. And so if it used to be a bunch of reds and yellows and browns and greens, now it's mostly yellow. Because I got those egg yolks just covering all over everything. I'm also going to take some cheese. And the cheese I have here is this bag of cheese. Now I need to put in how much cheese? 1 1/8 cups. Okay? I only have 1 cup, 8 ounces. So I'm just going to use the whole bag. That makes it easier. It's a little less than would be ideal, but that's okay. So take this, pour it in over top. Okay? Throw out the bag. Ideally, 1 1/8 would be 9 ounces of cheese. We only have 8 ounces of cheese. We work with what we got. So I'm going to mix this all together, and look at that. The cheese is already starting to melt. The eggs are starting to cover everything up. Okay. We're stirring it so it's all really combined really well. I wish there was a way that you could see what's happening in that camera, what's going on in this pan, because it is a beautiful sight. Everything looks really good. It's all mixed together. Okay, everything's sticking together in there. Okay. Tomatoes and the peppers and the olives and the eggs and the cheese. Plant-based protein. There we go. We got a nice even surface there. And just to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to add some pepper and some salt. And finally, a little crushed red pepper. Just a little bit to add a little more heat. A little more spice. I'm going to take a glove here, a little oven mitt, so I don't burn my hand. This pan is hot, and it's about to get even hotter because I'm going to put it into the oven, turn off the stove, 425 degrees for the oven, and we are going to cook that for 25 minutes.